Hello, Internet. Hey, I got something really special today. I'm visiting my buddy Stuart May. He's in northern New Jersey and he's got one heck of a tool collection. Please stand by. You're going to enjoy this. Okay, this should be interesting. I'm up in North Jersey near the George Washington Bridge visiting my buddy Stuart, who's got a heck of a tool collection. We're about 2 miles south of the George Washington Bridge on the Jersey side. So let's go in and see what his tool collection looks like. Okay, we're up on the 19th floor. There's the George Washington Bridge over there. And this is a nice view of the northern part of the city. The Statue of Liberty is about 7 or 8 miles down on the south. Very cool view. This is what it looks like down on the ground. Stuart's got one heck of a view. He sees us all the time. He's telling me it's a ton of fun. And yeah, who wouldn't like to wake up every morning and see this? Just fantastic. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Bob's Woodshop. I'm here with my buddy Stuart May, and we're in Cliffside Heights near the George Washington Bridge, as I just showed you. And he's going to take us through his extensive tool collection, and we're going to start out today with his rule collection that's right behind us. So Stu, why don't you tell us a little bit about the rule collection first?
Thank you, Bob. Great to have you here. I don't get a lot of visitors for my tool collection, to believe it or not. We're in the very eastern part of New Jersey, right along the Hudson River. So, as you know from having seen the pictures before, I love rules. My first collectible was rules. I concentrate mostly on carpenter rules. The top level here is almost all Lufkin. So you Lufkin collectors, you'll recognize some of the garment. I wrote an article about this for the Tool Shed. Some of the garment items. This one has a tape measure attached to it. There are rules that Lufkin made that Stanley didn't make that folded up with levels on them. This one too. This little guy too, with levels. And then there's the group of Lufkins that have a Stanley number on them as well as a Lufkin number. And those 20 that I have, and there must be more, are exact copies, just about exact copies of the Stanley rules.
Oh, that's interesting.
And these are my Stanley rules. And I did an article on that. I don't know if I could just refer to our audience.
I should mention that we're both members of the Crafts of New Jersey Tool Collecting Club. It's the Collectors of Rare and Antique Familiar Tool Society, right? And Stu's been asking me to come over to do this for a while, and I finally was able to come over, so I'm really thrilled to be here.
You just crossed over the George Washington Bridge. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm very proud of this collection. I don't have the numbers that some rule collectors have, but the quality, like if you take a look at this number 78, I don't think this was ever used. A little bit of rounded corner, opens up nice and stiffly, no stains. I like when a rule, whoops, I'm a liar. That's a scratch actually that somebody did, but so I've got some of the better, these larger rules with a top of the line for Stanley. And so here's a number 73 1/4. And there you go. There's a bunch here. This one is a 76, and this one you could hardly open it up. That's how new it is. That's how fresh it is and unused it is.
All right, so Stu, it looks like these were the precursor for metal tape measures.
Yes.
And so what were the time frames that were involved with these?
You're right on with that. These rules, I mean, they may have started making a couple of these, not these, in the late 1700s, but these rules really started hitting their stride in manufacturing in around the 1830s, 40s, 50s. Eventually, at the beginning, they were hand stamped. Could you imagine that? and eventually in the 1840s, 50s, thanks to people like Chapin, some of the rule makers developed equipment to automate the process, where all of a sudden they can make hundreds of rules an hour instead of 5 rules an hour or something like that. These are the predecessors of the tape measure, and that's it. This is a garment rule. This is a Lufkin garment rule. This is a Lufkin garment rule.
What do you mean garment?
Dressmakers, pattern makers. I did an article on the Lufkin garment rules because they needed different shapes and sizes to produce a garment.
Right. Just as a side note here, like I said, we're part of the Crafts Club, and there's a publication that we do called the Tool Shed. And if you're interested in finding out a lot more of the history of these, I'll put a link at the end of the video on how to find us in the publication. Let's go over to the closet and see the real treasures.
Good. Hey Bob, welcome to the major part of my tool collection.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a collection. Let's do a
This is
wait a second. Let's do a real quick summary. This is so we got planes over here. We'll get back to all these. Just to give you guys an idea, we got compass planes, we got the old style
braces,
the braces, and we've got keyhole and compass saws,
butcher saws,
back saws,
butcher
saws, and then we've got a wide variety of different saws, coping saws, jeweler saws, and bow saws.
Right.
Right, and then on this side, we've got these Davis levels.
Almost all of this is Davis. This one's not Davis, but this is my Davis collection. Very proud of how far I've come in that.
All right, and we got more over here.
More cast iron levels by Miller's Falls, by Springfield and Osborne and Starrett. And that would be my Stanley, the wooden rules. These are beautiful.
They are gorgeous.
They're almost all in original condition, unless Herb Keane got his hands on it. Then it's not in original condition anymore. This was sold to me by Herb. May he rest in peace. But if Herb did an article on this one. This one is not 6 inches. This one is 6.5 inches. And there's an article to be read. Maybe we'll list some articles at the end of the tape about these. But this is 6.5 inches. And Herb tried to guess whether somebody accidentally cut the wrong size stock or something like that. He couldn't quite figure it out.
All right, so let's start here with some of the history on the Davis, the Davis levels.
Well, Davis patented these here. Are all, except this one, inclinometers. And you see there are different size inclinometers. Davis had 3 sizes, I believe. And the inclinometer measures the angle of the surface that you're on. It's not just a plane level. There's a plane level up there. There's even a plane level when it's straight in the inclinometer. And this one is called a combination. The wooden ones are great. This is a recent purchase. These are fairly expensive. This one is called a combination, and it's got the inclinometer, the level, and the plumb.
So tell me a little bit about Davis levels then.
Okay, so
time frames and where they're built.
L.L. Davis, what was his name? Leroy? No, that's Leroy Starrett. L.L. Davis, whatever his first names were, he went fancy. He was a force to be dealt with in the 1870s and 80s.
American?
In the level field. American, he worked out of, oh my goodness, I'm forgetting town, Springfield. I'm pretty sure it was all Springfield. Now, why do you see 4 different levels here? Well, one doesn't have a screw on top. Some of them are called détente screws. One doesn't have a screw on top. One has a screw on top, but doesn't have screws on the side. This one has screws on the side, all for different purposes.
So four different SKUs.
Yeah, I'm told that there's 8 different SKUs all told, depending on where the name is and the date and all of that. This one is the best one because it has gold highlights on it. And if you find one with really nice gold highlights, it really increases the value. So one of my best, besides the one on top, one of my best gold highlighted Davis levels is this. These are just gorgeous.
They really are.
If you really like them.
Sure.
And I'm really proud that the filigrees break easily.
Yeah.
You drop this, you're breaking some filigree.
It's brittle. Yeah.
You won't find a piece of broken filigree on my Davis cast iron levels, and that says something about the condition.
Right.
A lot of times the corners chip. I think I have one maybe where the corner is chipped, and I bought that just because I needed it for my collection. Here, this one.
You got some machinist levels here.
This one is like looking for hen's teeth or whatever they call it. This one has some gold paint on it, if you could see that. And it does have a little chip in the corner, and that's one of my few. But Davis, after making inclinometers, or during making inclinometers, also made levels and plumbs. And you could see, it's hard to see everything up there. I built up the shelves. Yeah, there they go. Bob's doing a great job. And then as a Davis collector, you want to collect the different sizes of each level, but then you also have the variations that Davis produced. These being some of the rarest, these little hex levels. There's 3 sizes, I'm missing one. These are the square levels with the little acorns. He was famous for these little finials at the end, which just made them so cute. Look at this. This is the smallest. This is very hard to find. And I have all 4 of these.
Okay, how about this shelf over here?
Okay. This has some small, there's a lot of smalls. Those are Stanley little levels that you hook up to a rule or a square. There's Stanley up there. This one I just bought recently. I bought this from Steven Sador's website. And I just love it because I always like the cross. You know, if you're trying to get 2 directions to be level, this one's a bigger version. This one was put onto a camera. and we know that because it's small and it has 2 directions, but it was also comes in a box by Berkey and James from Chicago, and they were a big camera place in Chicago at the beginning or middle of the century. So I didn't know I'd be showing you that particular one. Cast iron levels. These are the English levels. I don't have too many, but the English and the Scottish had certain styles of levels.
It's really cool. So that looks like rosewood.
It is.
There with
that's ebony.
As ebony.
This looks like ebony. This is ebony also, I believe.
And the brass highlights.
And a lot of companies made this.
Very, very pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, this one. I like that one right there.
Oh, yeah. That's made by a company called Smallwood. Was that the name of the company? They went out of business and dumped all their stock somewhere.
All right, let's take a look at the planes.
Okay. I'm going to turn around. We have 5 by 6 feet to work with. The plane. Okay. Well, one of my very best is a plane made out of multiple exotic woods by Shelton and Osborne. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. Shelton and Osborne in Connecticut somewhere, and I'm trying to get that name, but I'm wasting time. So what you've got is rosewood, Paduke, and boxwood all in one.
Is that a single purpose plane, or can you change the irons?
You could change. There's 8 irons. If you take a shot over here, here's a sampling of the 8 irons that would go one at a time.
Okay, so they're all bevel irons
into this. Yeah,
they're not different molding planes. They're
no,
just,
no.
These are like rabbiting planes.
No, these are all
or grooves
for getting the grooves. going.
Okay.
We have one here. This has some ivory tips. That always makes it a little more desirable and expensive. Rosewood, ivory. That's
Do they come with the stands or have these made for you?
No, I had those made. I think I'm thinking I had Bob Gary make that for me.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking. I'm not. Yes, I think I did.
That'd be something to be up my alley.
Something like this up here. Well, there's another one I want to show you, but
Let's do this.
I love this just for the heft. This is an English infill plane. I don't know the name of the company. The iron has a name on it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the name of the company. Beautiful mouth there. You know, you want your mouth nice and thin. Of course, I don't use these, so why would I be worried about a beautiful mouth except the quality of the tool? Here is a patent paper on the tool that's up at the top. One of my
It's a compass plane.
compass plane, one of my favorites. So you would, I'll bring it down. Okay. It's just such a classy tool. Can you tell that it's convex and concave?
Yeah. Well, these are for barrel makers and ship makers and
Yeah. And
boat builders, chairs,
chair backs
scooping them in. Yeah.
and all of that. And this one is in good shape because it's got both emblem handles. A lot of times they're missing. You see how that comes off?
Yeah.
I've yet to figure out a way of having it permanently come on.
Let me take a.
Yeah. That's a classic Bailey. And this one is 1978 on the L. Bailey patent. 1967 and also 1978, something like that.
Really, 1978. Well, I was.
1870.
Yeah, 18. Yeah, I was
Thank
going to
you.
say, yeah.
Thank you.
I was going to say, yeah. It's a,
We've only done one day of rehearsal for this, so you're going to have to bear with me a little bit.
I'm thinking 1978 is when I got out of college.
Yeah, and then this goes.
So that's like 150 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, I imagine so. I don't know when they made these two, but they quickly brought in planes like this to take its place. You know.
Yeah.
so-
Put that one down.
Let me put this
Let's
one
get a
down.
better. Let's get a better look at this thing.
They can't tell that I have a Brooklyn accent, can they? So there's another one. There are types of this one. I believe this is type 1 with the closed wheel, no holes in it, and with the amount of verbiage that is on the top. They narrowed it down in later years.
I always thought it was very fascinating how the tool makers would make the tools very beautiful
yeah.
with all these embellishments.
Oh, yeah.
And like you said, the filigree and
There was so much into design back then. And I have other ones. This is a kind of a famous one. It's missing its gold label. There was a brass label on here. And this is I think it's called the Bailey.
how about this infill plane up here? I don't think
I may be wrong about
we
that.
talked about this one.
This one here?
I picked that up earlier.
That's a
and it's
beauty.
Nice,
I
heavy.
love this. Let me
Yeah.
just hold this. It's so nice. This is a Stuart Ayres English infill smoothing plane. And I just don't know how much better you could make it than this.
It just feels great in your hands.
Yeah, it's nice. And I said to you before we got on, I like the rounded edges. I don't
Sure.
like the one with the big square.
Oh yeah, it's got to be
dots.
comfortable in your hands.
Yeah, so this is nice. To the extent that I ever use any of these.
All right.
Um,
So you got you got some miscellaneous things here.
Our viewers might be interested. This is the smallest Coase wrench. Wrench collectors know about this one. And this one is more special than its counterpart because this one has a rosewood handle. So I really love this one. And those are a bunch of smalls.
These are a bunch of miscellaneous tools that are just got neat history to it.
For Richard Gagliardi, our luthier, our violin
musician
maker.
makers. Yeah,
This is a musician maker's plane.
yeah. That's another whole art in itself.
Yeah.
You got a really nice sliding T-bevel here. Let's take a look at that.
Well, this is our dear and he's now departed friend Jim DeRocha had a whole collection of St. Johnsbury bevels. And this is the smaller version. It doesn't exactly have the full church window. There's another version of this that I've been looking for that actually has like a heart on top shape and a little more of a church window looking thing. But this was patented. It's patented based on how it tightened up the
bar, yeah.
the bar. So
We were talking about this little
this one,
a little hammer,
this one,
very unique.
This one's like a you just I can't find the right word for it. When you want to whimsical, when you want to buy something whimsical, you buy hammers like these or tools like this. You know, this.
So this is what's a ram's head?
That's a goat's head.
Goat's head? Okay.
Yeah, this is a goat's head. This is pretty popular.
And what did you say this was given out with what?
This was some of the reading I've done, maybe in Martin's websites or in tool book descriptions, say that these were given out. This is not an original handle. Say that these were given out with bags of flour, like in the early 1900s or whenever. So that's what is said about them. I can't guarantee it's truth. This is a patented, is it a Hennig? Henning, I think. Patented hammer that was, I think, a gentleman's hammer. Maybe they crushed candy on the table with it. Probably was used for candy.
Very unique.
I can guess.
All right.
I like this little one, and then you got to tell me when we got to stop moving on. This is a tool handle. There's lots of tool handles out there.
You can put a file in it? Or
This was sold to me by
screwdrivers.
a guy who fixes, and he had extra ones of these. He fixes sewing machines and record old record players, old video, the ones that played the discs and everything.
Toolkit and a handle.
Yeah,
Very
isn't
cool.
that cute?
That is adorable. Yeah.
And right on here, on the wood, is the patent date. I don't think you could see. Yes, you could see something.
I can't read it, but
No, it could be even upside down for all we know.
all right. Let's go back to this guy.
Which guy where?
This thing.
Oh, that's a newbie. This was done by, we had a presenter who came from Cuba, and he's a machinist, and he makes these. And it's just wonderful. I need a little tool here to get this off, so I won't. This is a scratch all.
That is a scratch all. Okay.
Yeah.
That's with a protective case, I guess.
With a protective case. This guy was excellent.
Wow. When was he around? I don't remember.
I'm guessing 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
You know what
he
that is?
sold this. I said, no, I don't. I don't. It's Tiger Wood or something like that. I don't want to make
It's
myself.
like marbled something.
Yeah. He was very good. And
Very.
he came up, he was selling these at the end. I said, how much? He said $50.
That's
said,
all.
Really?
Right.
I'll
take 3.
I did the 50. So
How about this one? What's this type of hammer?
okay. This is interesting. I got this from Jim Bodie's website. I'll advertise our dealers a little bit. And he sold it as being 2/3 the size of a normal Cooper's.
Oh, it's a Cooper's hammer.
Cooper's
Oh.
hammer and adze.
Okay.
So a normal Cooper's hammer and adze is like this. It's wider in the back, I believe. The handle will be a little longer. This looks about the same. But this is a cute little mini. I like miniatures of things. It's not a miniature, but it's an abbreviated size,
Cool.
let's say.
All right. Let's get into the Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail.
With the Stanleys over here.
Okay, and maybe the braces if you want.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's do the braces first. We'll save the
Okay, the
we'll
braces.
Save the planes for last.
What I do is I start off my collection by showing an ordinary brace. It's as ordinary as you get, a little bit of brass work. As you all know, braces were used to drill holes, and these were made in England. They also made them in the U.S., but the U.S. started going towards patented metal braces. I'm not an expert in this field, but now this is called a plated brace. So now instead of being naked, you got a couple of plates on here to try to keep it together. And this one was kept together. Plus you have a brass neck, which is always a nice touch.
Okay. Yeah, I guess they had a lot of stress on them.
Yeah.
when you're boring holes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's that. Then, and I like those for comparison because now you get into the infill planes. The
Infill.
infill brace. This one is made. This one was made when they first started making marbles braces. This one is like the second run, like Type 2 in 1856, 1860, early 1860s. So, and you could tell by the address, this is 67 Spring Lane. And there's a book that lets you know which addresses were made in what years and all that good stuff. So this one is beech, and that's more rare than this one, which is a combination of ebony and rosewood. I showed this to some guys and they couldn't figure out. And sometimes parts are interchanged. You never know if that was replaced. But this, the handle here is rosewood. The top is brass and ivory. Brass, ebony and ivory, and this seems to be ebony. Unless this is a darker rosewood. How do you like that? And finally, my best brace is a Pilkington Stores. I hope it's not Stores Pilkington. And just take a look at that.
So these were made in, these were the 1800s or what?
This is mid to late 1800s. I don't know specifically the Pilkingtons. I have a write up on it here. Let me see if there's a date real quick. By 1800s, metal bits were being made. 1854. Yeah, mid 1800s. And take a look at the picture. They show you
The inside, yeah.
Yeah, the inside and all that.
I didn't know Lee Valley did these. The old tool.
Yeah, so there we go. So there's
history. All right, let's get into your Bailey collection.
My which? My
Your
Bailey
the Bailey collection.
Okay, I never was going to collect all of them, but I have number 1, 2, 3, 4. This is also a 4. This is corrugated. So corrugated means...
The C means of...
Yes, they were trying to reduce the friction
right.
of the movement over the wood. Actually, this says number 4. It doesn't say 4C. I don't think I ever researched that. Then you go back. There's a 10.5 carriage one here, but then you got the big ones, the monsters. The
7 and 8.
The 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all back there.
So tell me the story about your number 1.
The number 1. About 15 to 18 years ago, I was at a crafts auction, and I had never spent much more than a few $100s for a tool by that time. And this one went, and for those of you that want to keep track of prices, this one went for about $950. And nowadays, unless you go to the more expensive places, they still sell. I think you could still get one from $1,000 to $1,500, let's say. So I think you could still get one.
Yeah, highly collectible.
They're just gorgeous.
Yeah.
They're just. I never get bored of this. I don't look at it every day.
It's just cute. It's adorable, right?
Yeah. And take a look at perfect.
Yeah.
All of my planes have just about perfect.
Yeah, that's where they break
rosewood.
usually.
So I'm doing really good on condition. Just to mention to the viewers, we lived in a house for 30 years. I had 6-foot logging saws. I had axes. I had an ice harvesting collection. And my wife said, it's a good idea if we move. We're getting older. We don't need the staircases. So I did a 2-page article. It's out there. I did a 2-page article on downsizing for the tool shed after I finished this downsizing about 4 or 5 years ago. And this closet has been a gem. This has really worked out for me.
Yeah, no, this is your treasure trove, man.
Because moving was going to be, what am I doing with my tool collection? Where's the room? How am I getting rid of 100 and 200 tools?
Sure.
I sold them.
Yeah.
And this is good. Now,
these are your favorites.
if you want to come around and look at the entrance to the room, I have 3 nice individual things hanging up here. This is a fairly recent acquisition of a number 48, I think. It's a Stanley log measuring rule. And they had rules that measured cut wood and rules that measured logs, and I'm not sure.
So it was a board foot calculator?
What?
A board foot calculator?
Yes, very good. I don't know as much about it as I should just yet. I have to review it.
Okay.
This one they say maybe for garment making, because again, garment making had all sorts of weird shapes and sizes. And this one, which I lost at auction 5 years ago, I bought again about a year ago from the guy that won it. And he said, would you be interested? He knew I was bidding against him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, would you be interested in it? And what this is a horse collar measuring rule. Very rare.
Oh my goodness.
Very rare, fairly rare. I don't know how very rare, but very rare, very Americana. And it's made and patented by the Osborne Company, the people that brought you leatherworking tools.
Mm-hmm.
This is an Osborne leatherworking tool. This is an Osborne leatherworking tool. Keep my hand steady there. Newark, New Jersey. So I called them up at Osborne and I said, would you like me to bring this down to show you? Because I'm sure you don't have 24 of them sitting around. They weren't that interested. It's Osborne, they're in their 5th, 6th generation of family, or 8th.
Wow.
But they've got about 15 people working now, and everything is produced overseas, and they're not producing something like this. So that's that. That's a nice piece. It's always nice when you get a really nice special piece.
And it's in fantastic shape.
Yes. Oh, it is.
Kind of
Isn't
like
it?
new shape. There's no dings or anything on it.
No. And it's nice when you can ask your friends, what do you think this is? And because basically my friends are bored when I talk about tools.
Yeah, you do that at the picnic. What is it?
About tools to my friends. So,
all right, let's go look at the other collection. So I mentioned earlier that the Crafts of New Jersey Club has this publication. How often do we put this out?
every quarter.
Every quarter. And it's a treasure trove of information and has a wide variety of different tools and different authors. So again, if you're interested in collecting old tools, I'm going to leave a link at the end for the Collectors of Rare and Antique Familiar Tool Society.
Okay, Bob, I've got something to show you. The faded label on the bottom of this turn of the century 1900 oak graduated level machinist chest was Bliss in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. So I think this is a Bliss manufactured chest, and Bob wants me to show a couple of the tools that got his interest. That's a Stanley 79. It's a rebate for cleaning out wood
Yeah.
in the groove. Don't ask me for all the technical talk. This is one by Preston.
This is the one I've
English.
never seen before.
This is gorgeous. Preston made one of these, and there's another company that made one with a wooden handle on it. But you've got the 2 blades here. You've got the ability to hold the 2 blades in here. There's some adjustments here, and then you turn it over and you see the business end. Here's the 2 blades
I wonder who used that.
that go along your work and smooth it out. Carpenters. This is a carpenter.
Yeah, but what were they making? I mean, a carpenter, like you're talking about like a framing carpenter?
No, I think I
Don't know. Okay.
I think more like a cabinet maker.
Yeah, I was thinking more of
Anybody building a piece of furniture
Okay,
or
yeah.
something straight with joining pieces of wood
Okay.
and want to smooth out the work that they've done.
Okay, let's do this little drill.
This drill is interesting. I wonder if we can hear for some of the viewers. Miller's Falls made a drill like this, and I think it was called a number 4. I got to believe this is the Miller's Falls, but a few people so far have told me they've never seen one with a brass wheel. And it's got a little...
I've never seen one so small.
Oh, yeah, these are somewhat common, but never seen one with a brass wheel, and this one's got a little rosewood handle, so it's kind of cute.
Terrible, yeah.
Yeah, so there we go. And if we could shut the door here, oh, there's an ability here to lock all your drawers
Oh, nice.
Push that down, catches the groove in the other drawers.
Let's go back to this Union Made pliers.
Yeah. So, well, give me a second. Were you taking a picture of it? This was made by Witcher. The company was Witcher, and this is used. This is a shoe last. No, it's not a shoe last. Made a mistake. This is for making dealing with shoe leather on shoes. I forget. They're shoe pliers, shoemakers pliers,
Okay.
with a hammer, and this is in beautiful shape.
Yeah. Look at that.
Look at the head
Look
of
at the
that.
design.
I don't think this was used,
it's almost like
as Martin
embossing
would
leather.
say, I don't think this was ever used in anger. That's Martin's, I think that's Martin's expression. If it's not Martin, pardon me. And this is also a Witcher. So they specialized in the shoe industry. Up there in Lynn and Boston, Massachusetts, 90% of the shoes in the country were made right there around Boston, Lynn, and those towns near Boston. I did an article on the guy because I was interested. I've never seen a tool that said Union Made before, which is the real purpose of bringing that tool out. It says Union on it, and then when you look closer, it's hard to see that right there. It's hard to see. Says Union Made.
Okay. Yeah, we can't see that on camera, but
I did some research into it, and there were unions back then, yes, but never saw one in the tool world. One a couple of quick
dividers and
compasses, dividers, inside compasses, outside compasses, or dividers.
some more rulers. Are these ivory?
These are ivory.
Wow.
All of them are ivory.
Wow, look at that.
This one's really nice. This one is, which one is really nice? This one was made by the opticians to the King of England. This one was made by, oh gosh, I can't see. Oh God, Griffiths and Lapsted, London. This was made in London. I'm not getting the name right, so I can't see right now. And this was just a beauty. It's got 3 plates in there in each leg, which is hard to do in ivory, and it's just great.
Yeah, the precision for something so small is just incredible. What's this one here with the knife on it?
Okay. Got this from Herb Keane. May he rest in peace. And that's a pencil. Oh yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was a scribe or.
There's a pencil, a lead pencil.
Oh my
there.
God! Look how small that is.
There's no name on this. You pull it down and you make it disappear. And this one has a knife. Wow. This is a rule with a knife and a pen. Or it's if you're sitting at your desk and you need a quick little.
Open a letter.
I don't know who took the trouble of making it. It's not the only one I've ever seen. So it's been around.
Okay. Oh, let's talk about the Traveler.
The Traveler. Ah, the Traveler. This, you pull this down. This is patented, of course. You fold it in half. Now you're carrying it around like that. Now you open it up. You push this in there to lock the wheel in place. You hold your hand in the middle. You see that wheel moves independently there. And here's your numbers, 1 to 12, 1 to 12 inches. Okay. And here is a counter. That's the amazing thing about
so
this.
Every foot that you go.
This to me seems a little less amazing, although this is all pretty cool. But every time this goes around once, the counter moves. And I got to get a surface. This is in the Nijinsky book. I don't know his name. This is in the book on the art of fine tools. You'll find this one. And it's really just American ingenuity. I don't know if it sold very many or...
and what's the guy's name in our club that does the Traveler collection?
Pat Ryan.
Pat Ryan. Yeah, I've seen pictures of that. I got to get over to his place.
Yeah. So, okay, I'll put this one back. Was there one more drawer? There was one more drawer, and that was the heaviest drawer. I used to be much more of a generalist, So these are remnants of my generalist collection. The few wrenches that I like to keep.
These were for plumbers and pipe fitters, guys, right?
Yeah. I would say so. And then all the kinds of squares, the different kinds of squares. None of them all too special, but nice to have.
Sure. All right, well, I think that's one heck of a collection. I'm really glad I stopped over today, Stuart.
Oh, it was great having you. Are you showing me right now?
Yep.
Hey, so I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I sure did.
I am thrilled to show my collection to you. I've kept this collection. I feel like in the last 5 years I've curated the collection more than just collected. Curated with a little more thought, towards improving, getting better tools. So
Yeah.
thanks for coming over to the house.
Sure, yeah. It's you've done a wonderful job. They're all in really excellent shape,
Oh, that's great.
right?
Thank you. Condition.
The wood and the brass combinations, it's just gorgeous. So, all right, Stuart, I'm going to let you go.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for coming. Or
Yeah.
thanks for letting me come.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
no, that's great.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, thanks a lot, Stu. That was a fantastic visit. I really enjoyed visiting with you and seeing this terrific collection that you've got. I was very, very impressed with the dedication that you have to collecting all these tools. And hey, like I mentioned earlier, we are part of the Crafts Club of New Jersey, the Collectors of Rare and Antique Familiar Tool Society. And if you're interested in the club, you can contact us at this web address, craftsofnewjersey.org. Until next time, I'll see you on another episode of Bob's Woodshop. Bye-bye for now, and thanks for tuning in.